My name is Danny Kolsch. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm trained in trauma interventions and I specialize in opioid use disorder and dual diagnosis. If you're out there now questioning for the first time maybe whether you should attempt sobriety over alcohol, opioids, Xanax, whatever it is, you're at that point where you're open for the first time. I want to encourage you that number one, you can do it. How do I know you can do it? I know you can do it because I'm a person in recovery, 20 years. There was a point where I don't believe I could do it. Other people believed I could do it. Not me. I came to a place where I believed I could do it. There's hundreds of thousands of people out there in the same place who at one point didn't believe they could do it and are now years and years in their recovery. So you can do it. There's going to be competing voices within you. Some shameful voices saying you're never going to do it, you're not good at anything, you always fail, to the voices of you can do this. Some of the things that I've seen work, just nuts and bolts, concrete steps to either staying sober or just beginning to start that process of that first step where you've recognized it, you're no longer in denial, and you try to change. The first one is recognizing that there's a difference between a lapse and a relapse. Most people don't know that. If you are going 9 months or 90 days of not using and you are sober, you're feeling proud of that, you are excited, and then boom, you use. That's not a relapse, that's a lapse. If you think about it in any other terms, if you think about it in sporting terms like baseball, that would be you batting like 900, which would be insane. No one's ever done it. But for some reason we fixate on the one thing that was not according to plan, the one use. So there's a difference between lapse, relapse. Lapse is 1 or 2 or 3 times maybe. Relapse is a complete return to the substance of choice or whatever substance is that now have you gripped and locked into it. Just like we have muscle memory, we have these neural pathways that exist in us. When we do something, we are able to do that same thing again using some of the same strategies, coping skills, etc., and then using new ones. There's people that attempt sobriety over and over and over and over, and sometimes it sticks right away, and sometimes it sticks after the 10th time, but people do it. The other coping skill is called SOBER, S-O-B-E-R. It's an acrostic that's used by mindfulness-based relapse prevention, which is an evidence-based tool, starting with S, which means stop, O, observe. So at this point, you've stopped, literally, like you stop yourself in whatever state you're in, whatever cravings you may have, whatever you're doing in that moment, you literally stop, and then you observe. By observe, I mean you observe your surroundings, literally to where you're saying, that's a tree, that's a person, this is me sitting in my chair. That's observe. B, breathe. Breathing, there's a number of ways you can breathe. At the core of it, it's just breathing and following your breath. And what that's doing is starting to lower your heart rate, it's starting to increase regulation in your nervous system, and it's giving you a fighting chance to not compulsively act. E, expand awareness. Expanding awareness is just a way of saying take another step in being aware of your surroundings, aware of yourself, bringing yourself into your mind, head to toe, like you would in a mindfulness practice. At that point, You're regulated more from breathing. You're no longer compulsively working toward using or whatever, and you're starting to gain control over your body, essentially. And then the last one would be R. R is respond over reacting. Reacting comes out of compulsivity, impulsivity. Those are the ingredients that keep addictions going. It's the fuel of addictions. It's the mechanism by which they continue. After you've regulated yourself and your body, you are able to respond and not react. A last one I'm going to share with you, because I did talk about breathing, is something called the cyclic sigh. It has shown to be the most effective in regulating your nervous system, in decreasing stress, the quickest out of all of them. So this is what it looks like. It's 2 breaths in, 1 big breath in, and then just whatever you can breathe in after that, and then it's a slow exhale. And that's a key part to this. There's 2 versions of it. One is a slow exhale, one is a complete release of breath. We're trying to go for a slow exhale, because the slower the exhale, that's the point at which the heart rate starts to drop. So it looks like this. I already feel calmer, like literally, I feel better. That is just another coping skill you can use to, again, regulate your body. Because where is addiction coming from? Where did this all begin? This began with you being overwhelmed in your emotions, being overwhelmed by life as it presents itself to you, being overwhelmed in your mind, and ultimately needing a solution. And the solution was your addiction. It's your substance of choice. But as you know now, and as you're beginning to question now, you know that that solution is not sustainable. That solution will come to an end in some way or another, and it won't be a pretty end. It is never a good end. So you're questioning yourself now. Is it the time to step forward? And the answer to that is yes. There's people around you, whether it's in NA, AA communities, maybe it's a counselor, whoever it is, family members, they believe in you. They're wanting you to take that step, and you have to choose to either take it or not take it. Say yes or say no. There was a point in my life where I first got sober, and within 2 weeks, and this was like 2 weeks of my whole family being ecstatic about how I had changed, and I was now this new person. 2 weeks into it, I relapsed. It was actually a lapse. I didn't know the difference. I ended up in a hotel, binging for one night. I felt so much shame and such a weight of disgust. I could not keep my head up. I could not reach out to anybody. I could not reach out to friends, family. Not in that state. I go from the junkie, right, to the person who's sober. Finally, family, friends are excited for me, to now back to that old self. I couldn't handle it. And then I had a buddy. As I was going back to the house I was staying at, I've told this story hundreds of times. I see a buddy who I know it's him. He's driving in the white Jeep Cherokee, and the person who's driving me, they see that I'm nervous, and they knew who it was, and they said to me, "Do you want me to stop and we can avoid him?" And I had a choice in that moment to say, yes, let's hide, basically, and run, or no, let's say yes to kindness, to love, to acceptance, to being well. And so I told the person, no, just stop, let him see us. He saw us, he pulled up, and I'll never forget it. 20 years ago, he came to me on the passenger side. I rolled the window down, and he looked at me and he said, "You don't have to live this way. You don't have to live this way. I love you." And then he walked away, said, "Give me a call," and he took off. I went back to the place I was staying at, and instead of continuing down that path of relapse and self-destruction, which was leading to overdoses and likely death, I packed up my belongings, crying and telling people around me that were trying to get me to stay there. I told them, I'm out of here, I'm gone. So there's a voice of resilience, there's a voice that's from within you, and a voice external from you in your friends, your counselor, you name it. There's people around you who want you to succeed and who want you to say yes. So today, if you're that person, I'm encouraging you to say yes. So just with open hands, be open to the process and to surrender, accepting that this can end in a good way. Your life can look in a way that you never thought it would look, in the same way that my life today looks how I never thought it would look. I thought I would end up dead. I didn't care about life, and I'm 20 years later, family, I'm licensed, people look up to me in the community, I own a business, and it's all because of people around me and me saying yes. So if you're out there, I encourage you to say yes as well.